Hey guys, what's up? I'm Morgan and welcome back to my channel. Welcome to my channel. If you're new here, thank you so much for joining me. I truly appreciate you tuning in to today's video. This video is all about branding, okay, you guys? Branding, the branding elements, key branding elements, mistakes, common mistakes that you may make when starting your brand. I have a very special guest today. I'm going to have her introduce herself because that's more important and you guys can get the real idea of my guest. So I'm going to have her introduce herself in a second. But again, just go through this video and watch this video because it gives you guys a lot of insight from my viewpoint and from her viewpoint, especially from what you have been learning and exploring here on my channel just for me. And I feel like it's always important to learn from other entrepreneurs, especially in this super small space that we are in. But even if you are not a swimwear brand owner, this is also really good beneficial information for branding in general. So please just keep on watching. If this is something that you're interested in, make sure you guys give a big thumbs up. Make sure you guys subscribe by hitting the subscribe link and the notification bell so you don't miss out any of my future uploads. And again, just a really quick reminder, all of my guest information is down in the description box below, so check her out. Hi everyone. I have a special guest today. I'm going to have her introduce herself and just give you a brief little background on her brand and her business, and then we're going to get into this really cool Q&A and kind of like bouncing off of each other, all these topics that I feel like are very important to you, whether you are a new brand or whether you are an established brand and you just find yourself kind of stuck. So I'm going to pass this right along and have you introduce yourself.
Okay, so hi everyone. My name is Janel Livingstone. I am the creative director and owner of Elise, elisia. We are a resort wear brand based in New York City. We recently launched our completely produced collection in July of this year. And we have currently 3 pieces, and we have more additional pieces coming within this year and early spring next year too.
Perfect. By the way, you guys, I'm going to link all of her information in my description box, and I'm also going to link it on an IGTV. I'm going to try to figure out how I can like chop this up to do an IGTV just so I could, circulate more for you as well. But I'm going to try to link everything. All of her information will be in the description box, and I highly suggest you guys follow her personal page and her brand page so you guys can get more familiar with her. Okay, so let's get into this.
Yeah, let's get into it.
Okay, so where do you want to start with? How do you want to start this off?
Okay, so as Morgan was saying that, and you're doing the brand series for Swimpreneur, you want to focus on the behind the scenes and how you run your business aspect. And as your subscribers know, you're doing pattern making, you're cutting sewing all over designs, and my side, I actually have a manufacturer. I did start out merchandising. I've had my store for about 2 years now. And we did start out merchandising, but we merchandised swimsuits last year in the summer, early summer, and early spring actually last year. And we realized that we made a decent amount of money, and we decided that we're gonna start doing our own swimwear, and that's how we kind of get into this of idea of like, okay, let's merchandise our own stuff. Let's do it totally bespoke. Let's, create our own designs, and, let's rebrand as a resort wear brand. So I came from a merchandising boutique style business into a manufacturing producing type of business. And I was able to do that just by rebranding my company. And I want to just touch a little bit on that and how, your subscribers, your viewers, people, anybody who's watching, how you can rebrand your business and put yourself in a new marketplace, basically.
Okay, so as far as like the rebranding process, I think I've only talked about this maybe once on this channel, I believe, and I'm not sure which video it was, but I believe I just talked about it once. And I was trying to explain basically with rebranding, you don't have to lose all of your basically your brand like aesthetics when it comes to rebranding. Because I get the question, I kid you not, in my DM, they talk about rebranding and they say, I had a brand before, but I want to rebrand to showcase my new product or, you know, a new launch or something, and they completely just wipe out everything that they did before in their older brand or their past brand that they had before. And so they think, you know, rebranding means everything new strategy. So how did you go about going from the merchandising side, like of like the boutique business, to actually rebranding for your own personal brand and making that like work for you?
Right. You know, it's so funny. I have a bunch of stuff here with me to kind of show that the viewers like where our brand was at, like what our old marketing materials used to look like and how what they look like now.
Yes.
And but I want to, you know, say that, like, you know, people who have brands and you're starting out and I want to rebrand completely. You don't have to completely wipe out everything. You know, it's really a choice. You can do that, or you can just slowly rebrand your business just from, you know, packaging, rebranding your website. Then you can do the social media stuff, and that's how I did it. And that was the process for me, is that I started in different stages of how I wanted to rebrand my business. So on the front end, my old website was up and running and people were ordering, but on the back end, I had a whole new website, a whole new logo, a whole new everything, you know, and I'll touch on what are those elements are, those new brand elements that I added to the website. And then I started changing my packaging. So I just literally just like, okay, we have about say 500, poly mailers custom. Let's get those out, and then let's start redesigning our new packaging, redesigning our thank you card.
Like merge it into the new brand.
And exactly. And then when we started to decide, okay, this is what we're gonna do seriously, we said, okay, let's just tackle the social media. We just started changing our profile image first, and then we changed our bio to reflect result where, you know, worldwide shipping. Before we had something cute, you know what I mean? For all stuff. But and I'll talk about how how to not look like a too boutique on Instagram, actually looking like an actual high-end brand, and what steps can you take, and I'll dive into that too. But that's how I kind of slowly, you know, changed my brand to what it looks like today.
I definitely want to talk about that.
In regards to the social media aspect, we started saying, you know, we started letting our customers know that, hey, this is what we're doing. We're coming up with something new.
Like this,
we put up IG stories and say that we had like an announcement. Hey guys, we're coming up with something new. Stay tuned. Instead of just dry, like just changing everything completely, you know, we don't really want to do that. You don't want to freak customers out. And then we had people responding to us and saying, hey, what are you guys doing? Are you guys, you know, obviously we said we're coming with swimwear. We, you know, let them know that was happening. And they said, oh, we're going to be doing swimwear. You were asking, when is it coming? All that kind of stuff. And then once we were at that point of saying, okay, we informed our customer base, we informed our clients and stuff like that. We started, you know, archiving a lot of the images on our social media. What we did leave, and even our tags, we started archiving those tags as well. Because I mean, I had like a really big customer base when I started out initially. I mean, I worked with a lot of celebrities. I worked with sorry, what's her name? Stassi Baby, you know her on Instagram.
Oh yeah.
Right, that's Kylie Jenner's best friend. So we worked with her. We worked with Miguel's wife. We worked with a lot of like celebrities. So we've had a lot of people tagging us in clothing items, and that was what, you know, we had to change even how our tags look like and stuff like that. We've have our old pieces there, but those are like what we've actually worked with customers with, like big brand collaborations. We kind of left the stuff there, but everything else we just archived that stuff, and we then started relaunching our brand, and that was with the countdown,
with like
stuff,
the newer stuff, the newer images and things like that. You started to merging in. That's super important. I'm glad you said that. The whole part, like the process of like merging things out, I think that's super important, especially from like if you have an Instagram page, because mostly everybody's on Instagram. So if you have like an Instagram page and you have a bunch of images that was mainly promoting like your other brand or the other look of your brand, before you start merging it out, I think you don't want to like shock your current customers. So just like archive things.
You will definitely
you will lose them. Just archive it slowly, not like 100 pictures at once.
Exactly.
Just archive it and start merging in like the new product. Also, again, I know you're gonna talk about this, so I'm really excited about this one like particular topic as far as like making your brand more upscale. So that, because I think a lot of times there's so many Instagram like brands, they try to label you like an Instagram brand or like a boutique, and really it's like, no, this is a luxury brand. And you even though you're on Instagram, you have so many other outlets, there's so many different people coming into your brand, because it is more upscaled and it doesn't fit into that small niche of like boutique feel, like that boutique-y feel or whatever.
I get it. That's where we were at. That's where our brand looked like, you know. And the thing is that, you know, coming from, when I started my clothing line, it was just me and just talking to my sister. And she said, oh, you should just do something. And I've always wanted to do something, but I just didn't know what. And well, clothing was like the obvious choice. And then we kind of finally said, okay, this is what we exactly want to do. This is like our brand messaging or identity. And we kind of figured that as, you know, after a year, you know what I mean?
Right.
And not touch on that, but I just want to like, you know, start off with a little bit of education and knowledge. Because you know, for the viewers that don't know, I'm coming from like a branding and a business management and financial background. That's where what I went to school for, but I ended up working in fashion in New York City and on the business side. And with that, I was able to see how brands, you know, run their business. You know, with internships and actually working in some of these brands and actually having a position at fashion production companies and stuff like that, I was able to see how a fashion company, like a legit fashion brand, start their branding process and getting their name out there, and also how they do their trend forecasting, how they're trying to figure out, you know, what color palette is going to be the next trending color in the fall or winter, or, you know, coming up next spring and stuff like that. All that stuff you kind of see in the back end. Like, oh, what do these people do? How do they know all this?
There's so much that goes into this.
That we put out there, you know.
There's so much.
I know, exactly. So I wanted to touch on like some basics right now, like what a brand is.
Yep, let's do it.
And for you know, people out there, they think our brand is like KFC, Popeyes, Zara, something with a mascot and stuff like that. But it's a little bit more than that.
Yes.
It's, you know, a brand is, you know, any name or design or symbol that identifies a service or good, right? Right. That's like your correct definition, you know, a little bit of dictionary for you. But, you know, anything that identifies your service and identifies, anything that identifies your service with an image or a symbol or even like a text, that is what a brand is.
Right.
And that could be a logo, a color, a mascot, you know, it could be typography, you know, it could be a symbol. Stuff like that literally defines a brand. And, you know, if you're starting out as a company or a design company or your brand company or a clothing company, you want to sit down and say, okay, what are the DNAs? What are the, you know, what are the messages? You know, what's that? So you can literally flesh out all that stuff before you even go any further in your business, because that DNA is literally what customers are going to see when they come on your site.
Instantly.
What messaging do you want to give off if somebody visits a Mayhem Swim or elisia.com? What is that going to look like? What are they going to feel? What are they going to think? You know, and that's what basically in the process of creating a brand, that's what you have to bear in mind. You know, what people think when they get on your website. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's like the first step. I want people to know that these are the things that you have to think about when you just say, okay, I want to start a business. Right. You know, anybody can start a business, but not everybody can start a brand, and that's so important. They're
completely different. I tell people those are like two separate things. You kind of bring them in to like start meeting to make it feel like it's a one big whole like program working together, because business
Exactly.
and branding is different. You have to have a brand in order to be able to run your business, and
Exactly.
it's like so much that goes into it, and
It's a
that's
lot of
super important.
stuff. It's a
It's so
lot of
much
stuff.
stuff. It's
If
not
people see
easy
me up
either.
and down, I'm looking at my notes, guys. So don't bash.
Yeah, it's not easy. The branding side
Right.
is crazy.
So I want to touch on something that's called brand equity, and brand equity is what makes a good brand. What is brand equity? I want people to like, you can do your own Googles and stuff like that. Obviously, I'm giving you guys like the layman terms. This is a lot of like school stuff I learned in school, and what I saw other people doing when I was interning or where I worked in the past. And these are the stuff that people talk about when they're in like boardrooms. What is marketing teams? What is the brand equity? We gotta know what is this. Da, 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 da. That's like
keep using those terms, because that's the easiest way for people to end up searching on their own and getting more information.
Yeah. Great. So I want to like take your little notes and kind of like
keep it.
Knowing what they can look for, but this is literally like the building blocks of stuff. So a brand equity is the commercial value, right? So the commercial value that comes from the perception of your brand from consumers, basically.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So the commercial value, what do you think of? For example, what do you think of when you hear Yeezys, for example? Like, what do you think of when you hear Yeezys? And besides Kanye, let's not use Kanye. It's controversial right now. So, for example, what do you think of when you hear Fendi?
Yeah.
Like, what do you think of when you hear Fendi? What do you think of when you hear Prada, Gucci? What do you think of when you hear that stuff? Let me not do it in clothes. What do you think of when you hear Carol's Daughters?
Yeah.
Like, that's the brand equity. When customers or consumers or whatever, when they get on outside, because you can't meet them everywhere. They're not going to be online everywhere to like see
Absolutely.
or hear you. So building a brand, you have to, when you're building a brand, you have to bear in mind that the branding, the brand messaging, and the identity, people can immediately recognize your brand and know what the brand stands for as soon as they hear the name. That's the brand equity.
Right.
That's what it is. Whenever somebody here, obviously Louis Vuitton, Fendi, and Versace, those are like old school,
big brands,
100-year brands, and they've been around for years, and they kind of build this idea of a luxury. And so a brand equity is any commercial value that derives from the consumer perception of your business, rather than the product you're selling. So obviously, I'm selling swimsuits and all that kind of stuff, and we're going to be doing dresses in the future, and loungewear and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
But even before any like customer knows, they shouldn't be able to get the idea of my business from my products. They should be getting the idea of my business from the brand.
Yes.
That's what's super important. The products don't sell. The brand sells the products, guys.
Absolutely.
The brand sells the products.
Yes.
That's what it is. You can be selling water. Everybody has their favorite water bottle to buy water from.
Yeah.
That's a perfect example, because there's like a whole bunch of like water brands, and Fiji Water is like the biggest social media water company.
Yeah, you're going to go for like your favorite, like the one that spoke to you. So you're going to go for that one. I tell people products are products at the end of the day, but people buy into like not what you're pushing out, like the message, the
Mm-hmm.
look, the feel. I was like, usually when I shop, I instantly connect with, it's like a whole brand thing. I don't know if it's just my mindset, but when I shop from people, I go into it immediately looking. I'm like, oh, this is nice, this is nice, this is nice. But it's a feeling. It's like a feeling, a vibe, the mood, and everything is going to connect to that brand. It's usually, the product is usually last. It's like, oh, that's a nice product, but what is the brand about? Like, so.
Exactly. And it's so funny you say that, because now we're in like a social media marketing, and we see other big brands doing these type of social justice type of marketing.
Yes.
They call it social marketing, social justice marketing. I'm not necessarily doing that, but we see other bigger brands that are trying to get behind a message or something to get their brand out, to increase their brand equity.
Yeah, it's pretty, I mean,
it's not about selling any product.
the shade, the shade in this, in the industry.
Exactly.
Sucks.
They don't really, I mean, some of them might believe what they're promoting when they do like social justice marketing, but it's, for them, it's all about doing, supporting a cause that will make them look
Yes.
more morally, higher than other brands, or in their onboard message, they want to be the wrong side of history. That's all that stuff is about. They don't really care what the product they're selling, really. They just want to
No, they
say,
don't. I think a good maybe 10% of them are really, really into it, and then I think everybody else is kind of just
and
like
this goes for any
bandwagon.
movement, really. This goes for, the sustainability movement. This goes for
Yes.
BLM. This goes for the feminist movement. This goes for anything. This is just to increase brand equity, nothing more, nothing
Yes.
less. Not necessarily about selling a product. So that's a good example. But for us new brand owners like myself or somebody else, watching, how do you increase your brand equity as a brand owner, right?
Right.
And this is about how the brand messaging comes in. Is the brand identity, the brand messaging, and who wears your products.
Right.
And that's how you increase your brand equity like that. Obviously we can touch on influencer marketing a little bit, but that's very important too. And also what your brand messaging is. For example, I'm a resort wear brand, and there are 100 resort wear brands out there, but I'm trying to hit that demo that wants to know.
Sorry, briefly, could you explain, just for everyone who's very new to this, what your definition is of resort wear? Because that is a question I get all the time. Like, what do you mean resort wear, or like summer collection? Like, it's a whole different vibe.
Right. Same here. Resort wear traditionally, I mean, this is the thing, is that we're in a different fashion cycle than 20 years back.
Yes.
So the terminologies will change. And there's like 4 different definitions if you go back. But as my definition is that resort wear, it's items you wear on vacation.
Absolutely.
And that's what I try to put me in that box, my business in a box there. The official term for people that don't know, there are different seasons in there's a calendar that everybody follows, is a fashion calendar.
Right.
And then resort wear is usually resort wear, or cruise wear, Chanel will call it, is they release items that usually very rich people will buy during the months before vacation. So usually resort wear will come out October, October, and then that collection will be released to so that rich, well-off people. This is traditional, guys. Like,
no, that's textbook, like, definition.
Like
perfect. Yeah, that's like textbook definition. That's what I wanted to explain to them. So, because you have a resort brand.
Right. So this is what the rich people will buy before they go on vacations in like December, January, February, March. So resort wear could literally be a ski company that does après ski stuff.
Yes.
Or Chanel does the Chanel cruise stuff that comes out at the end of the summer, and they do like a resort wear as well. So, and they have their own, definitions of what they want to call it as well. And me personally, I do. I'm a resort wear brand, so I've launched stuff, throughout the year.
Yeah, all year round.
But obviously my goal is we will have a resort collection in October, which is what we were going to have, but obviously I don't see that happening. But in October, we're going to be dropping like loungewear and stuff like that, and maybe knits. I don't know, but it just depends on how I feel. Right now we're in like the wild west. I would say that. And it's going to be a little bit more, I give myself a little more leniency because everything is up in the air right now. It wouldn't make any sense for me as a resort wear brand. I know you're dropping your resort wear, obviously, in October. But me personally, for us, because we're doing, and you're cut and sewing, so it's different. And this is something that might be another example, because Mayhem is cut and sewing, and I'm actually producing.
Right.
And manufacturing. And for me to do like a resort wear in October, that should have already been in production.
It would have been, the crunch time of everything.
If I wanted to do anything like that. Or even literally in the end of August, probably at the beginning of August, I should have already started having samples and saying, okay, we got to go in production, and then I'll probably be able to produce maybe 1,000 and something.
And what is how long is your, well, typically, because I know it varies per like design and things like that, but how long would you say typically is your production time for if you were to start building out your new collections? Like, how long would you say that time frame?
Like, for example, like, obviously right now it's just different because of the coronavirus.
Right.
But, you know, based on what my factory is telling me, they want to advertise. And so lead times are very, like, okay, I have about, I have about 1, 2, 3. I have 3 different factories. One is here in New York City.
Okay.
The others are overseas, and the others is the one here. It's different because I'll be able to like literally walk in the office and see what they're doing, which is good. You know, I'm thinking about using them to do old dresses and stuff like that. We're still in the process of working that out. And the other factory is based overseas, and you know, one factory has a really good lead time, about 4 days turnover for a sample, which is amazing. You don't necessarily see it all the time, and they are well oiled factory.
That is super fast.
I know. I'm so blessed. And the other factory that I'm using, their lead time is almost 2 weeks.
Okay.
So, you know, between 7 and 15
and that's
days.
that's per sample.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. That 4 days is crazy.
What I'm designing too, like if it's, and then obviously, you know, sample lead times. If I don't like the sample, that's another 2 weeks.
That's, I mean, you're in a better position, to be honest. The sample times here, and I've talked to multiple manufacturers, but the sample times here is so pushed out. Like, you can send in, you can go in and meet with them, and the production times, like, you can literally have everything like ready to go from yourself. And as soon as you give it to them, it's like, okay, now it's a waiting game. They probably don't get back to you for a month, maybe 3 to 4 weeks, sometimes a month and a half. So, I mean, luckily, seems like on the East Coast, they're doing things pretty well, because over here.
Yeah, I mean, that's one manufacturer here is, I haven't spoken to them yet or whatever, but their lead time is from the average lead time, 2 weeks. But I have a factory overseas that does the other stuff, and their one is like 2 weeks lead time, 14 days. Other one is like 4 days, and they're very, very fast.
Yeah.
They want your money.
I mean, out here it's just so many. It's so many people going to the same like manufacturers. So
that's the thing, so, and that's the issue with me, because one of the factories that I use, they do stuff for ASOS.
Oh wow! See, so they work. So technically,
so you can see why there's so much of a lead time, and ASOS, they love working with small brands, because they were getting, because I will order 500, 600 pieces, this month, and then maybe the next 6 months come down the line, I'm doing 2,000, 3,000, 5,000. Right. On capacity of what a factory can do. So that they want to get in on that, and they want to have your business. But another thing about the lead time, guys, is that lead times are long because they want to have quality assurance stuff.
Yes.
So that's the reason why you will hear a factory that says, 2 weeks, or, for my guy, they have very experienced tailors, so much so that I had a previous sample, and then I showed one of my account managers, and she told me that this is wrong. They should be doing it this way. They are like expert tailors in what they do. This is one of my pieces, guys. This is one of my
cute.
Set up a little bit.
And this is all of her own designs, you guys. So keep that in mind.
This is like a line, double line, and it has anti-slip stickers,
sealed at the top.
Yeah, on the top. So and this is all from that factory, because they manufacture stuff for ASOS, or any of this boutique stuff. H&M.
I'm gonna share your Instagram screen in a little bit, so you guys can actually see like everything.
I don't want to get off track. So. I'm so glad you did that. I wish I had well, maybe I don't anymore, because I wish I had a screenshot of what my old Instagram used to look like. It's so funny. But I just want to, since we touch on the branding part of it, and what our brand equities and stuff like that, let's just get into how to rebrand your brand. Yep. I'm excited about this part because my brand looked a little bit too boutique-y. I said, okay, I'm going to do a complete 360. And I'm going to sit down and use my marketing skills and learn what I learned. And I'm going to take it very, very seriously because before I did not. So I want you guys to know, if you want to seriously rebrand yourself and, go into a different marketplace, you want to position yourself. These are like terms,
Yes.
Position yourselves in the marketplace. You have to sit down and like fully flip out. And my brand before, and I'm going to show you guys in a minute, is we were like so Instagram boutique, very, very, it was really, really cute. I had even one of my friends said, "Oh, why did you change this? Why did you change that?" Girl, I wanted to be on the level of what the brands look like on Farfetch,
right?
Or what the look like on ceremony.opening.com or what.
And those are goals, okay?
And those are the goals.
Those are goals.
And that's the goal. And I want people to know that when you do your business, when you start your business, you have to set goals, right? And that's like, now that I have my own designs, I'm thinking, okay, this is what we want to be in 2 years. We want to be on this platform, to like on this wholesaler website. And that's the goal we want to be at. But before we even get there, we have to rebrand. We have to do certain things to look like the brands that are hosted on that site.
Right.
You know what I mean? So it's a little different. So I'm going to show people what I did. So my first, like I discussed earlier, my first thing that I did was started designing a new logo.
Okay.
And when I decided the logo, it was around the time when all these little new cutesy Instagram boutiques were coming around that sell a whole bunch of dresses. And they were doing like the lace top.
Yeah. I do. That's why it's funny.
Not for real. They were doing like lace dresses, eyelet dresses, like the sheer tops. It was like a knockoff host of CV stuff.
Everything was a mess.
It was a
It was a mess.
And lace.
It was
this
a mess.
was like 2 years ago in the summertime, guys.
It was lace. It was all those like weird half corset. It wasn't really a corset. It was kind of just looked like corsets. It was a mess. I understand. And
then a lot of like skirts were coming back for some strange reason. But guess what? That was the trend back then, and I bought into that. So this is what our old poly mailers used to look like. And this was around the time when the millennial pink color was a big thing. And I was like, oh, we got to do this. Is what our branding is going to represent. We're going to do this. And this is what I think the colors are changing. So this is what we were. Like it was all bold type face. And I want people to look at this properly. So this was the bold type. So this is a typeface that is it's called Butler. I'm just giving you guys a little gem. But this is a typeface. It's called Butler, and it's Elise x Elisia, but it's all caps. So I didn't want everything to be like caps. That was one thing. Oh, let's be all caps. Let's see what everybody can see us right here. And I decided instead of just doing all caps, I wanted a little element. I added a brand element, which was a circular thing.
Right.
Sparkles. So that was the idea in my mind. Cause I'm thinking, okay, we're gonna be doing cutesy dresses and we're gonna do tops and all white eyelet stuff and now it's like nobody has that stuff. So this is what it used to look like literally 2 years ago. And then this is what we look like now. So based on my research of what we want it to be, we wanted our brand to look a little bit more streamlined, a little bit more approachable, and not so. It's approachable, but it still gives you the high-end feel, but it's not so trendy looking.
Yes.
And really classic and timeless.
Yes.
And I did a whole bunch of research in what were the trending typefaces. And if anybody is like a branding expert or like a graphic designer, they will tell you that they literally research what is the next, literally just like how we research colors and, like casting. Brand directors and graphic designers, they research typefaces. That's what's going to be trending.
To tell you the best one that's going to work for current times and moving forward.
So for example, like within the year, I saw 4 brands change their logos, and I just want to let you guys know, Zara changed their logo within the last year or so. Balmain changed their logo within the last year or so. Prada changed their logo. Dior changed their logo. Celine's changed their logo. All these brands changed their logo to look a little less. And this is like a graphic term. It's called serifs. So serifs are basically all these little
Yeah.
these the ends of like the typeface is the text, right? The fonts, right? So that's what serifs looks like. So, and they all got a little bit more streamlined.
Yeah, I think
And
times are simpler. The more ups, the luxury brands are getting a little bit more clean cut,
clean cut,
simple.
exactly. And that
Just make it
shows like
nice.
exactly, and that kind of shows like what is like the trends that's going on right now
Yes.
in like everybody's lives. Because right now, what's trending big on social media is a lot of like minimalistic, the neutral,
Right. Right.
color palette, you know what I mean? Even like in my own apartment, that's what I have. But that's just like a lifestyle thing, and that
Yeah,
and
I
the
think it's
brand,
just a lifestyle, overall
it is a
lifestyle
lifestyle
thing.
thing.
Like all the
Mhm.
colors and elements and everything is lifestyle. I'm very minimal to a certain point, and I just like keep things clean, cut, neat, simple.
Right.
It gives a better message, and it's quicker to like figure
To
out.
see and
Yeah.
figure out. Right? So initially, we changed our whole entire brand colors from the millennial pink color. We changed the typeface. We changed the logo completely. And then we kind of went back to how I kind of. Oh, what is that? Oh, I think that's like a bum. We kind of went back to in my mind, I'm thinking, okay, what brand do I know that's like super, super cool and that has a high brand, like equity? And I said, oh, let's see what I saw. Like, let me see what Balenciaga looks like because they changed the
Hmm.
logo, and everything is like a lowercase. They have the lowercase logo, and they
Yes.
have like
Yeah.
the emblem, which is the double B's. And I said that would be really, really cool. Let me try and see if we can do something with that. And then this is what we came up with.
I like that. And bring it
It's
closer.
Yeah, it's super, super. It's a
I
lot
like
more
that.
streamlined.
It's so clean cut. It's
It's
just
clean
like
cut,
very
right? It's
precise.
streamlined, it's very, very clean cut, and it gives you that immediate, like the changes between this brand is like a brand. It's giving you Instagram boutique vibes.
You can definitely tell the difference from like
Exactly,
the
and
pink
then
and then
this
the black.
brand.
This is kind of like you guys when I was saying, like when I tell you guys, like a lot of Instagram boutiques, they market a lot differently than brands that are a little bit more luxury, more upscale. And that's because like how she was showing like the pink one on the side, even though it's like super cute, you
Yeah,
definitely can see, and it does give a different feel from the just solid, clean cut, black, white, it gives a huge difference. Even with
such
that,
a
that's a small change too. It's not even like a huge
It's
change, but
not
it makes a huge
exactly,
difference.
and obviously our old, our tags and our logos and all that kind of stuff were pink, and then we had to change that too. And I kind of show you guys that in a second. Right now, let me just.
And remember, you guys, she said earlier, she merged these things in, okay? It wasn't just a dead stop,
So
okay?
exactly. So we initially we had like a pink tags and all that kind of stuff. And before I finish, so there, this is a typeface. It's a Futura typeface. It's very, very streamlined, very clean cut, and everything is lowercase right now. So we're not going to be doing
Hmm.
any lowercase stuff. So on every branding item that we have, it's lowercase, and I think that's kind of cool. It's kind of different. It's kind of cool because I was doing a little bit of research and I'm trying to find out what brands have lowercase logos, and
Hmm.
obviously Balenciaga has one. Airbnb's like a lowercase logo
Yeah,
as
I
well.
saw that.
So we're trying to go with a little bit more of a different feel, and I feel like this is like very, very modern, and it's very, very fresh. So obviously we kind of move from the pink to the black, and yeah. So and then we also, this is like one of my one pieces, but I'm gonna show you guys what the logo looks like. So
That color is
what
just so
what,
cute.
I know. Thank you so much.
I love that color.
So previously we had a merchandise product,
Hmm.
and that merchandise product it came with the like very, very basic what's it called, panty liners, the hygiene
Yes,
liners. So now we have custom hygiene liners that have our own logo on it
yes.
and all that kind of cute stuff. So that's custom. And then our label or tags look like this.
So you guys, the tags, is that one, what is it called? actual fabric tag, like woven, or is it like the
woven tag? You know, my manufacturer, she's so good. I don't even, there's a special name for this, guys. I don't know. She sent me like a whole bunch of like different ways on how we can store like labels and tags in it. So this is like I don't even know what the name is. I'm so sorry, but this is a woven.
Yeah, I brought it up because I get the question a lot about the actual tags for swimsuits, and you guys can definitely use, like I said, you can use woven tags. Everybody's trying to push the whole screen printed tags and things like that. Like you can get it, but you can get woven tags.
Why I decided to go this route. And this is obviously if somebody's starting their own swimwear brand or something.
Right.
Obviously, for swimwear, it's different because you don't want to feel the fabric. You know, you want to feel the tag in it. I literally wrestled with myself for like a month about what I'm gonna do. And I just went on like Farfetch and I went on like Shopbop. These are like websites, you know, and trying to see what other competition is doing.
Right.
And everybody has this. Like, it's not a big deal. They're
not a big deal, and those actually last a lot longer. A lot of people don't tell you this, but the tags, the actual printed tags, and like clothing labels, they last a lot longer in swimwear, especially for like chlorine, salt water. They last a lot longer than the screen printed tags, because as the screen printed tags, they like stretch with you, even though you can't feel it. They stretch with you, and it will break down eventually. But those woven tags last a lot longer because they're stitched in, and the stitching is like really tight where your logo name is, like your brand name. It's usually really tight. So those are perfectly fine. Don't feel like you have to get screen printed tags, you guys.
It's like screen printed tags is like super cute, but for me, I wanted to look like the competition. I wanted to have that same vibe and feel, and I feel like for screen printed tags at the price, I want to have a very, very custom brand. I'm saying you can do screen printed and do custom branding.
Yes,
it's just that I wanted the brand to look a certain type of way. And I just decided to go with, you know, the screen printed tag. I mean, my manufacturer gave me like 10 different options. Really, she's really good at that. And she said, okay, we can do the tags, or we can do the tags that, you know, you can just really pop off. And, you know, I said, I don't really want to do that either. And so I just want to make it like a regular, you know, clothing item. And that's what I did. So we have our logo and, you know, all that kind of great stuff right here. It's so cool. And then before we had the same design, but it was in pink and with the circle, the old text.
Oh, like the same that's on the bag?
Yeah.
Okay.
And then we have like the care instructions and all that kind of good stuff. So that's like what, how I slowly transition the branding, the physical, you know, stuff. And in our thing, oh my God, I forgot to have the old ones. Can I just let me get the old ones real quick, and I'll come back and compare. So I'm back, and I'm going to show you guys what our old thank you cards used to look like. So this is the old one, very, very like, you know.
Yes.
It's not flimsy, but this is like very like decent. It's not like, it's a standard really. And then we have like the thank you information and, you know, how to like tag us and do the hashtag and whatever. And this is just like the design swim season. That was what we were doing last year when we just launched. We didn't have any like really, when we initially started doing on swimwear, we didn't have any really like collection, you know what I mean?
Right.
That was like what we did initially. Swim season, we didn't have any like full down branding of what we were gonna do and direction. Now we do. So this is the thank you card now.
Cute.
I know, isn't it cute? And this is from our latest collection. And this is from our 3D, one of our 3D models we use. As you guys know, I launched my brand during the quarantine. So we had to use like 3D models, and I designed all this myself. So me and my graphic designers and stuff like that, we came up with this whole scene. And this is like what it looks like right now. So you guys can see. So this is one of the 3D models wearing one of our two-piece sets. And yeah, and she looks super, super cute on the beach. So fly. And then this is the thank you card. So it's like a little bit more updated. Looks a little bit more streamlined and not so, you know, all over the place. And that's kind of, this is giving you like bad bitch presidential vibes. And it is like very like, oh my God, I'm so cute, right? So people can see the difference, you know.
Yeah, and that one, I like the size of that one as well.
Yeah, I actually got this size by accident.
I like that size. I had to, my first ones were,
this
My
is
first
cute.
one was the same size as the other one. Yeah, my first one was the same size as your first one, and then I upgraded it to a bigger size. But I got the bigger size by, again, mistake. When I was at the print shop, the girl printed out a bigger one. I was like, oh, that one looks better. like I'll
Oh,
take the. I was like,
that's
I'll get that
crazy.
one.
Because I got this in mistake in the mail because everybody knows how to use Canva and stuff like that. So I was creating this on
Yeah.
Canva. And the actual size of the document was this size. I thought I was using my old size, which is like a regular size, like a thank you card.
Yeah.
But it was actually they had like an updated thank you card size. This is like where you put like wedding invitations on and stuff like super huge. So I was using that by accident, and this is what I got. But I was like, oh, this is like really, really cute.
I like that. That size is better.
The full, the picture. It kind of gives you that vibe. And it's almost like a postcard, like it's really cute.
Yeah, they have some like I forget what size it is. I know the smaller one was like a 4 by 6 or 5. Yeah, 4 by 5, 4 by 6, something like that.
4 by 5 thank you card, yeah.
And I had a lot of those printed too. When my first year, I was like, okay, this is great. When that girl showed me the bigger one, I was like, I like that one better. So
this is what we have left from the last year collection when we printed a whole bunch. So this is what we have left. So this is like, so we try to like finish everything up. Like I said earlier, finish order all marketing materials, and then I just now I know I'm not wasting any money, and I just say, okay, let me just do the new stuff. You know what I mean? Any questions so far? I feel like I'm doing a live for some reason. I don't know.
This is really live, but it's just us.
It is live. But
It's just us.
All right, I feel like I'm doing something. So, also I talk about changing the logo, and I talk about changing the typography. A little bit of a little bit of knowledge for people watching. Typography really makes a difference in what type of messaging your brand is giving. It really does. And like I touched on earlier about how Balmain, Zara, all major high-end brands all changed their logos within like a year. I thought that was weird when they start changing their logo, but then that's very uncommon to have that happening
for big brands like that. I was like, wait, what's happening?
Right, it was so weird. It was like, what is going on? But what happened is that we were going into a new we were going into 2020.
Right.
This is like a new decade, guys.
Yeah.
A lot of stuff happens. Like this is 2 decades in, and we're going to a new decade, and it's 2020, and that's one. And then 2, the lifestyle of a lot of people, like the millennials, it's different from the lifestyle of the generation before.
Yes.
So that's why they have to update the logo to reflect. A lot of millennials do have this minimalistic vibe towards them. Minimalistic, very streamlined. A lot of girls are wearing white or just full black.
Yeah.
And it's kind of the reason why Bottega Veneta is doing so well, because the collection is just so chic and timeless. And that's what a lot of brands are trying to that's what it reflects right now. You know what I mean? So that's the reason, one of the reasons why they were all changing their logos within 1 year. Imagery, and this is what we're going to be touching on. I'm sure you can bring up the Instagram feed a little bit so we can talk about how I'm so sorry I don't have a screenshot. I think I do, but it's in a 2000 image is on my computer. I can't scroll through and find it right now. But my brand was basically reposting my clients and my customers, and just talking about what we're selling. Mm-hmm. And going into we went into a resort wear brand. And to be honest with you, I'm not even there as yet fully of what I want my social media and even what my website to look like, because I'm somewhat limited in resources. I can't really go outside 24/7 out of the day because of coronavirus, so I have to be inside.
Yeah, it's a lot of limitations right now. It's understandable.
A lot of limitations, and our initial idea for what the Instagram was going to look like is completely different from what it looks like now. But it's close enough to where I'm not beating myself up about it.
Right.
And we initially wanted to do a full-on beach resort vibes type of campaign, and we're going to have images for days from that campaign, and we were going to have a full-on it's a lifestyle brand that we post our products, but we also
Right.
post the things that surround the products, that surround the brand. Kind of what I stand for as a brand. If you Google elisia, our brand, we're a New York City based resort wear brand, but also we are a setting lifestyle brand.
Right.
That's the vibe that we had going for. And when we launched, we couldn't do all those jet setting stuff, obviously, because we're trapped here. I'm trapped in New York
Yeah,
City.
everything's been thrown off.
Everything's been thrown on. Exactly, and we can't jet set. So
yeah. Then that sucks, because
right, so
I'm glad you brought that up. That's crazy.
We're stuck in the pool, so we can't really do any of that amazing stuff. But we're almost there, obviously, and it's a big difference. I'm sure you guys can see from the previous branding that we had. It's a big difference from what we had previously, with basically showing like very cute, like the cute dresses, like the jackets, the basic pieces, the sweaters. That's just what we were just selling. But now we have a lifestyle brand,
Right.
and that's the difference. And I'm not sure if you have it on the split screen or something, so people can see.
Hold on, let me try to grab the screen share too.
Mm-hmm.
Can you see it? Is it up?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, yeah. So this is her brand page, you guys.
Oh yeah. So let's scroll back up. Let me talk a little bit about the bio.
At the top part.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So obviously you can see our name and a new logo and everything. It's so cool. I mean, previously, before we changed the logo, the profile picture, we had like this big E in there. That was initially, we had an E, then we had the logo image, and that was the old logo image, and now we have this. So it's super, super sleek, very, very chic. And then obviously we have our logo name. So the first thing I did was change what we were. And obviously we are a resort wear brand right now. And I added a press email. Now I'm going to talk a little bit about the press email stuff. If you go on any, and this is obviously if you're able to send out samples to big celebrities. I can't talk too much about it because I've gotten emails from big celebrities that want to wear my stuff just because I put that information out there.
Right.
I have and people you wouldn't even believe, but I can't talk about it. So obvious reasons, because I don't know when I'm going to wear it.
Right.
And whether it's going to be in a music video or it's going to be on like a magazine cover or something. So I can't even say who it is. But because of that, I put myself in a different arena. And obviously this is if you're doing like, custom pieces. And if you're going to be doing your own brands and own designs, and I think that would be great. I want to recommend if you're going to be doing merchandising,
right,
to do to send out product that is already readily available in the public.
Right.
Anybody can buy something from that. I mean, obviously, H&M or Doll Scale or any other brand can do that because they're a bigger brand. But starting out, if you want to be taken seriously as a fashion designer, then this is something that I will definitely recommend.
Absolutely.
For brands to do starting out, is put it out there in the universe, in the ethos, that you're willing to take pulls, you're willing to do samples. I've sent out samples dozens of times, just like stylists, celebrities, editors and stuff like that, but just because through this email. So I'm putting myself in that atmosphere, basically. What I'm also going to do in the coming year is also have a wholesale email on my website as well, so that if somebody wants to contact us for wholesale inquiries, then they'll be able to email us through that, and we'll be able to see that. I'm
very scared of wholesale.
Me too.
I'm very scared. I was like, I would love to do it, but I don't think I can handle it.
Right. It's very difficult, which is why I'm kind of and obviously that's like a next year thing. Who knows, whether it be early next year, later next year.
Mm-hmm.
But that's just something that you can do as well. So obviously you see our bio there and all that kind of good stuff. If you scroll down, we are obviously, you guys know our collection. The collection that you see right now is the only collection we have, and it's called Tidal Wave. So the tidal wave collections of obviously blues and greens and turquoises, and it kind of the brand messaging behind the campaign is kind of the Mediterranean Sea and what that would look like. So this is just the color story of that. So
gorgeous.
Yeah, thank you so much. So obviously we're getting a very lifestyle feel, and what I notice in what I'm posting and obviously the analytics is that if you scroll up a little bit, up. Yeah, you're fine.
Okay, like this way.
This is good. No, a little bit to the picture in the middle. Yeah, right there.
This one.
This one. Photos like that on the back end analytics, it does a lot better than the actual pictures I'm posting. I'm getting a lot more saves. I'm getting a lot more reach. I'm getting a lot more product tabs. People are tapping.
You mean for like the like just like the flat lay type photos over model images?
So the flat lay type photos versus I thought I had my water bottle on here, but I don't. Versus the model pictures or girls are reposting wear my stuff. They do a lot better in reach. So and scroll down a little bit so I can show you one as an example. This is just hanging right there. This one right here. That I was so shocked and surprised. Yeah, I was so shocked. Like over 100 people saved that photo. I don't know why they didn't like it. I'm thinking they probably saw it in their feed and just saved it. Over 100 people saved that photo, and
that's a good example because I save photos like I save more photos on my Pinterest page that are more like this than of the actual girls in the picture. I don't know why that is, but those are just aesthetically pleasing to look at.
It is, yes, it's nice to look at. It's about this. It's so crazy, and that's something that when you're, doing your strategy for your Instagram, social media to help you grow, that's something to bear in mind. 'Cause, for example, I'm going to be looking towards doing more flat lay images coming up soon, especially for like our loungewear stuff, and we're dropping masks on Friday, so we're kind of coming out, and I think flat lay images are going to be doing a lot better. And images with I thought that images with like full body, showing the swimsuits would do well, but images just showing the body, like for example the photo at the end right here, that the sleeveless top that I'm wearing right here, that one, oh my god, that had a lot more reach than I expected, and a lot more kids as well, because people, it's a little bit more aesthetically pleasing to see like a very super stylized photo versus a regular photo of like a model just wearing something, you know what I mean?
Right.
Like,
Yep. That makes a lot of sense. A lot of I get more reach from photos where usually I try to do this intentionally to just chop off my head. Like I try to just give like the body image and then, post the photos, and those do really well, but I get more reach from my stories than I do from my actual like page. So.
Wow. We just started getting over 200 IG store reviews.
Yeah.
And I do have a strategy for that as well, is that I started posting 12 a.m. midnight. Mm-hmm. And to post 12 a.m. midnight, immediately when your customers get up in the morning, they see you first on the page.
Right there. Yep.
So that's what I started doing. And, we started seeing a lot more interaction with our IG stories and stuff like that. But this is just basically stuff, like we're obviously for social media, we're a lifestyle brand. And I'm trying to incorporate more, I'm learning in the process. So I'm incorporating more lifestyle imagery and more flat lays and stuff like that coming up in our new, not new, but, we're just adding more stuff to our strategy as regards to social media. But just to give you a little idea, like that's what the IG looks like. It's super cool. You guys can check it out.
Yes, and, please go check out our page and follow.
Yeah. So you can check it out and see what it looks like. And, strategies that I use, you can fine tune it or add some stuff on. It's not, it's not gospel. So you can definitely, exactly. You can definitely check it out. And, I'm even learning as well of seeing what strategies I can use to get more engagements and more reach. Fun tidbit is that brands on social media, they hardly get comments and they hardly get any likes.
Yes.
brands on social media. So if you feel down about your like ratio or your comments, don't go on any brand page. The most you will see on a brand page like 30 comments. And they're like a million followers.
You gotta kind of just go with the flow. If you're making sales,
That's
then
what's
don't
important.
focus too much on like who's liking your photos.
Yeah,
if you're getting those sales,
no, it's because this is the thing is that brands are not, you know, we're obviously brands do that. They're trying to like move away from that, but it takes a lot of strategy implementation to sit down and create a whole entire lifestyle brand to the point that you're having a community of people communicating in the comment section. It's not easy as it is. If it was easy, you would see Fendi, Prada, Gucci, Kogaya, you know, to be doing it as well. It's not easy to do that. And don't pressure yourself if you're not able to get the certain likes or comments or whatever. The most I'll get is customers asking me what size it is, but I think you'll be surprised. Majority of those sizes or people asking question is sent right to my DMs. So
I get the DMs. My DMs are very busy, but like it's mostly customer service inquiries. They rather ask you on Instagram than on your website. So you'll get a lot of that in like most of my customer service is on Instagram. So and then they'll go back to the page. But I tell them don't focus so much on your social media strategy as far as like likes, comments, and things like that. Focus on your brand message, push that out. And make sure you're converting people to either an email list or an actual sale.
Exactly. And that's that. You know, I was like, okay. Yeah, I was in that phase of like, okay. My thing was that I want to have like an average of 50 likes, and you know, I think that'll be good. But I kind of noticed that, you know, once we started posting more and building, because we just started, you know, we relaunched and we just started out, you know, we have about like 50 something images. And what I realized that once we just started once we relaunched and posting stuff, the reach started increasing. And you can see your reach analytics in the Instagram backend. So we started getting more reach. Like, you know, our stuff is getting 500 organically. So that, and then people are, you know, saving the stuff over like, I remember I had like 40 people save something. I'm like, what are they saving? Like, I'm like,
They love it. They love it. They love it.
Stuff, right? So I'm not, and that's the thing, is like 40 people saved the picture versus you only get like 12, 14
likes. Yeah, exactly.
So what's more important?
You got the reach is more important than
the reach is more important because
there's a lot of vanity metrics on Instagram. So
yeah, I think I really do think that likes and followers are like vanity metrics.
It's a lot of vanity metrics
too, because it doesn't really matter. It doesn't really, because it's surprisingly that I think Instagram is trying to phase that out as well, because you know, you see your backend, I see my backend, and when you see stuff pop up on the page, the Instagram explore page, people are scrolling by, they like stuff obviously, but it's not like people are saving those images. Right. It's been saved. And as somebody like myself, I curate my Instagram in a way that my saved images have different like categories.
Yeah, I save mine.
Right. Because if I'm getting like inspiration from something, or if I'm gonna like, for example, we're going to fall in New York City, and I'm trying to like curate my own fall wardrobe and stuff like that. I save a whole bunch of fall stuff.
Exactly.
And I don't even like one of the pictures. So
it's just a bunch of saves. That's what, I have a bunch of folders, same way, just categorize them for like most of it's like inspiration. It's just save it so it's directly on there. But
inspiration. Yeah, so I think so. I said, okay, this is like the last topic I want to touch on about how branding puts you in a different marketplace.
Okay.
So this is the last topic. I know we're kind of going on, but I'm sure your followers are going to love this.
Yes. I have a lot of this is great for like just my audience. Everybody is really fresh, really new. So they're starting off. So all this information is like gold.
Yeah. So, you know, how your branding can place you in your desired marketplace. That's what I wrote down. And my first thing is that if, for example, if anybody watching want to do high-end fashion lifestyle brand, you have to look like a high-end fashion lifestyle brand. And for you to, yeah, it's true.
Yes.
And for you to price your items, like my stuff is not cheap, and it's not cheap either to make the stuff.
Yeah, I would say, wait. I was like, tell them, I guess the process. Like, yeah, you guys, when it comes to price, one, I always tell everyone, everything is not for everybody, but you have to price it for what it's actually worth. A lot of the stuff, I get complaints a lot, like, well, recently about my prices, because when you price something, it's like, guys, this is high quality fabric. This is manufacturing cost. This is shipping cost. This is product packaging. Everything goes into the cost of a lot of these items.
I think a lot of people don't know that.
No, they don't, because a lot of people are just shoppers. So they're like, oh, I'm used to shopping.
A lot of people don't know. It's so funny that when I launched, the first comment I got was, your stuff is overpriced. And
I don't even pay attention to those comments anymore. I'd be like,
and no, and it really messed me up. That I had to talk to my sister about it. It really, like, and my sister, and then so it, like, literally, this is so funny that one person can ruin your day.
Yeah, don't let them do that to you.
And girl, no. One person said that, and I really was like, oh my God, is my stuff really overpriced for real? I'm like, because if I want it to be a little more, because this is the thing. If you go on Shopbop, Revolve, Farfetch, you don't see swimsuits like for $80.
No.
I'm gonna let y'all know right now.
No.
Right
No.
now. No. I'm letting you guys know right now. It's just as it, and it's so funny because when I did my old stuff, like the old brand, I was selling swimsuits for like $20, $15, $25 for the two pieces.
Right.
But that's like, I got that stuff for like dirt cheap. And there was like no time, there was no hours billed, me designing, me sourcing, me getting all that stuff I take in account when I'm pricing my stuff.
Absolutely.
Besides the obvious, materials, hardware. I don't know if you guys know, my swimsuits have steel on them, like actual hardware.
The closures, all those pieces. It adds up, guys.
It's not cheap. Okay, guys, it's not cheap. It's not cheap. So when I got that first comment, when I the week of my launch, I was like distraught until literally like 2 days after, like this chick literally ordered everything on the website.
It was like, what was the comment for?
Not the same girl, but somebody else. Literally, this girl, and she's like a big fan of my brand. It's so funny, like I have fans, like people like die over this stuff. Like it's like, oh my God, I'm obsessed. Like I have this one chick in in the UK. She's actually a celebrity that messaged me and asked me about it, and she's like, okay, I'm gonna order now. And she got her stuff, and she's in my DMs all the time. When are you releasing new stuff? Like, oh my God, I'm obsessed. And like I'm like, what? Like people are really liking my stuff. And then that one comment initially when I launched kind of like had me second guessing myself about what should I price my items at. It's kind of messed me up. But I say all that to say is that you set what type of tone you want in the marketplace and where you want to be.
Right.
So if you want to be a high-end brand, the branding has to come into it, obviously. But I rebranded specifically because I wanted to raise my prices. I wanted to be able to have a bigger markup and offer a higher quality and better product. And those were one of the main reasons why I decided to rebrand. Not only that, but I was manufacturing.
Yes.
It was manufacturing. You guys, it's not cheap, okay? I was manufacturing.
It's not cheap. Yeah, let's keep stressing that, you guys. The price is not cheap, okay?
It's not cheap, and the shipping costs to get this stuff over here. I have boxes upon boxes of stock getting shipped here to New York City, and just to store that stuff and ship that stuff out to facilities is not easy, not cheap. So all the costs has to be taken account when I'm doing like my profit margins. And luckily, my brand actually reflects what I want my profit prices, my profit margins to be, and what I want my, my product prices to be. And if I want to sell stuff and look and not be fashion over. I'm using that, no shade, no shade. But if I don't want to be fashion over, and I feel get sensitive.
Yeah.
I don't want to be like fashion over. I want to be like Cult Gaia. I want to be in that space of I am Gia. I want to be in that space of even We Were What, or what's the other brand called? Mara Hoffman. Like all these are resort wear brands.
Yes.
They're charging $30 more than what I'm charging for my one piece.
That's what I'm saying, that the when I speak about like product research, market research, that goes into play. So like when you guys are searching or discovering your brand identity or whatever it may be for your brand, it's really important to look at other brands to see how you will be able to fit into that certain market, but also like look at their pricing structures and everything like that. Because when you buy something from a high-end brand and then you buy something from a fast fashion brand, you should never expect the same quality. Like you don't expect it. Because when I get a package from a smaller brand and they did all this beautiful stuff to make me feel great about being a customer, the quality automatically goes up. So I don't mind paying extra for something that I know is going to last me like a long time.
Right. And I'm going to touch on the customer experience as well when it comes to putting yourself in a marketplace.
Yes.
Like my jacket, you guys, this jacket is actually Jacquemus. This is an $800 jacket. I'm not going to go wash my car.
Isn't it amazing? Yeah,
this is
we got on. I was like, that jacket is so cute.
But this is like, it feels great.
Yeah.
And the package it came in, and it was gorgeous and beautiful. And I want to get to that stage where I'm, we're in the stage right now, pricing. Not pricing, but like, do some market research on what we're going to release next year, spring and summer for like resort. And we're doing all this market research and seeing not only that, but how we can actually get to a point where we can charge for like a $200 dress or a $200 silk dress or something like that. That's what we're trying to do right now. But as I was saying, if you want to start pricing your brand in a sort of a marketplace, you have to look that way. And that comes with the branding and your logo and also customer experience and creating that type of cool factor. And I want to touch on that cool factor a little bit because it's called brand relevancy. So in marketing, this is like a new term. This is fairly new. This is something that they can actually start to calculate how popular a brand is with numbers.
Right.
And because of social media and because of the metrics and analytics and stuff like that, and how brand relevancy actually has a big influence on customers converting.
Yeah.
And, a great example of that is Revolve. Revolve is an extremely overpriced brand. Very, very overpriced.
I like Revolve, but they are definitely overpriced.
Anybody can tell you that, but you're buying in the lifestyle.
Yeah.
You're buying into that cool factor of being that girl. And that's how Revolve is able to price $200, $300 for what they're charging. And I'm going to tell you a little secret too. A lot of those brands that are on their site are in-house brands.
Okay,
The brands that I have on that site is in-house brands. Years ago, when they started doing that big influencer marketing thing, they started buying these brands that were in LA, that were doing those little dresses and stuff like that. They started consolidating. And the team behind Revolve is amazing, but that's what they started doing.
They're huge.
Consolidating. They started consolidating some smaller brands and put them on the site, and they launched collections within the brands, and it's a great idea. And obviously they do influencer collections as well, but that's how they're able to take a small brand years before they even start getting hot.
Absolutely.
And raising that brand relevancy and able to be charging $200 for a t-shirt.
And it's a difference too, because they don't feel like fast fashion. So
they're not fast fashion.
Yeah, they don't feel.
It's not fast fashion. They're literally. I mean, anybody that knows Revolve knows that they're so overpriced. They're so overpriced so much that they recognize it and they started their own pretty little thing brand. Like it's called Super Down. So they know they're not stupid, and they have
they know. It's just that they could afford to just keep on keeping the
doing
price
that.
up there. They keep doing it.
Yeah, they have different verticals. So they have like obviously the higher end form by Alice Walker type of brand, and they have Revolve, which is the middle ground, and they have the girls that do the pretty little things and Fashion Nova style stuff for cheap. For like I think the most I'll see something there is like $60.
Yeah,
What?
that's
The most
the price point. Yeah, it's crazy because that Revolve is so big. I noticed instantly when I didn't really pay attention to Revolve until they started doing the influencer marketing. Because I was like, they just they're popping up. It's popping up so much. So it just took off from there. But
so that's how they're raised there. And obviously not everybody can afford influencer marketing, but Revolve is a perfect example of brand relevancy. Is that they were able to create a lifestyle brand around clothing. They were able to create that stuff where you felt like an outsider because you're not on this brand trip, you're not in this group, and it's called FOMO. They created a FOMO where you had to buy that item no matter what.
Like I need it.
Yeah, that's the thing, and that's how they're able to have a lot of people on the side buying a whole bunch of stuff for overpriced.
Yes.
And that's the stage every brand wants to be at, where the influence of the branding kind of influences customers to pay whatever amount of money you want to pay.
Exactly.
And it's not easy, but it takes time to curate all that stuff and build out, your social media, how you interact with your customers on Instagram, or even how you create brand strategy. And that's so important. Sorry that my allergies are acting up a little bit. It's kind of getting like a little bit of the sun's going down and the dust in here. It's a mess. So, but yeah, that's like super, super important. Brand relevancy. One more topic I want to talk about is that, so we changed our branding. We, meaning me and my team, to justify our prices, and branding will determine whether or not a customer wants to pay that price. So I have a swimsuit. One piece is $85. We offer free shipping, international and domestic. So that's $3 out of that. That's not too bad. Look, the thing, another reason why we decided to go with swimsuits fully is that it's super inexpensive to ship. It's not a lot of money.
Not at all.
Versus clothes or shoes. The shipping is like $3 priority. No, I'm lying. $3 what's it called? First class mail.
First class mail, yeah.
Yeah, first class mail, $3, and we have tracking. So you're able to see all that stuff and get it within, the regular free standard shipping time, which is like 3 to 5 days max. So it's super inexpensive for us to do that. So I cutting my profits a little bit to give customers that little leeway. And I do the same thing with Australian girls because they're the ones that are running my business. So I give them that.
Give them that cut.
I give them that cut, and I give them a free international shipping, which is a standard 7 to 21 days, but it gets there within 2 weeks max.
That's still good shipping time.
Right. So branding really kind of determines whether customers want to pay a certain type of price. And I'm not at a level yet where I have brand relevancy to that level. Maybe in Australia, because I had a couple of girls telling me everybody is wearing this stuff. I had a problem on my site a couple of days ago where the checking out wasn't working for overseas. And I had a whole bunch of customers, overnight. I was sleeping, and in the morning I saw the emails, and this one girl said to me, "What do you mean you don't ship to Australia? Everybody's wearing this in Australia. What are you talking about?" I'm like, huh? So I'm getting relevancy more overseas than I'm getting in my own country right here, right? So it's just like,
that's what I'm saying. I get more sales out of the country than I do here in the country. Right, exactly. The ones here in the States are like very spread out, right. But out of the country, it's like, what? Like, how did you even find me? But I'm glad you're here. So thank you. Right. But I'm getting a lot more sales out of the country and a lot more recognition out of the country as well.
Yeah, I feel like people are really like, especially in the UK and in Canada. I feel like I said, I had this one celebrity chick. She messaged me and she actually buys the stuff. I'm like, wow. So It's like really, really cool. So she said she loves the stuff, and I even got orders from that. Just kind of saw like where the traffic was coming from, and which I'm grateful for. Another thing I want to talk about how we can put ourselves in the marketplace is that high-end customers are not the same customers as a Fashion Nova.
Exactly.
Or things,
Exactly.
or Google. I want you guys to know that. And I made a mistake of thinking that you can't target an audience that is not the right audience.
Yeah,
and
they're
you will
two
waste
different
money,
wallets.
and you will waste money, and you will waste time. And I had to really sit down and figure out who are my customers for the items that I'm pricing at. And I have to find them first before I start to
Yes.
Do any marketing or anything. I should figure that out first and foremost. So if you guys want to start putting yourself in that marketplace, do your market research and who the customer base is, what do they like, what are the trends that they're looking at,
Yeah.
and what price point they are willing to pay on certain items. Because not everybody has money, but how can you justify the spend? That's where I'm at with certain stuff. How can you justify the spend? And, like I said, back to the brand relevancy thing is that with that influence of that branding, customers will be more likely to go through that conversion funnel and purchase something because they want to be relevant in that, they want to be a part of it. They want to be a part of your brand. And that's just something that's like super, super important. Yeah, so I think that's like one of my, I'm kind of closing up right now, but that's like what I really want to talk about. Before I close though, I want to talk about common mistakes.
There's so many common mistakes now. There's so many common mistakes.
Yeah, right.
Especially with branding alone. There's so many mistakes, and I see it happen a lot with new brands. Most of the mistakes happen from rushing. And so if people just slow down just a little bit, because I know you want to meet deadlines and come out when you think the hype is there, but if you slow down and just really evaluate everything about your brand before jumping into any type of marketing, any type of outbound sales, anything like that, you'll get a lot better at converting if you just take a step back and then go in. Because I see it all the time just with coaching clients and stuff like that. I have the same thing, those common mistakes when you first start off, it's mostly due to one, not doing your proper market research, but also spending money in the wrong areas for your marketing. So like you were saying just a few seconds ago or a few minutes ago about the customers being different, like fast fashion and a luxury brand, the customers are completely different. And I have a client literally right now, I have a coaching client, and she spent so much money in marketing Facebook ads. And I'm like, you're marketing to the wrong people. Like, like the people that you're targeting are people that are used to spending like maybe a total of like $50.
I think $40.
Yeah,
honestly.
$40, $50. I'm like,
$50,
you done spent all this money in ads, and you're not making that money back because you're targeting the wrong people.
I've been that client. I've been that client. It's so funny because you want to replicate what you see as successful in like the marketplace.
Yes.
And what we see successful is the fast fashion brands, Fashion Nova, Boohoo, and whatnot. But because they talk about their success, you can see it physically. You can see Fashion Nova has like 21 million followers on Instagram.
Ridiculous.
No other brand has that on Instagram.
It's ridiculous.
So you want to be at that level, but the reality is, if you want to be at that level, you're going to have to sell courses like $10, $20, $13, $15.
And for you to make a profit, so.
And for you to make that profit. Talking about a different, business strategy.
Yeah.
Versus like a Cult Gaia or, Carolina Herrera brand or something like that, or DVF. So it's a different strategy. And if you want to be in a high-end luxury business, it's, qualities over quantity is the way to go. It's not easy because it's so funny because I was talking to a friend of mine, and he remembers when I just started launching the brand, we had no sales. You know, I had no sales. Luckily, I was working. I had my own company. I was fine. I wasn't, but no sales on the side. I was like, what is going? I had no sales, zero traffic. I was running ads. It's like, weird. Like, what is going on? Something is off about this. And now I was selling, you know, cheaper items too. But now it's different. I have a high-end brand. I'm actually getting orders, and I have my own product.
Yes.
So, and the branding is a lot more different versus branding like Instagram boutique. And that's the thing, is that the Instagram boutique aesthetic is so common that it's hard to compete in that market space.
And it's so similar. Everybody has the same.
Everybody has the same.
Oh wait, the sound's cutting out.
I also saw Zara carrying something I saw on that Boohoo or Nasty Gal one time in stores. I'm like, what? I don't know if a fast fashion brand it is, kind of, but they have a lot more better styles.
Yes.
They're more getting inspiration from the runway, but I guess, you know, Fashion Nova and Pretty Little Thing and Miss Glad is getting inspiration from the runway too, because they're having their own manufacturers. You know what I mean? So it's so funny. A lot of people don't know how the rise of fast fashion brands came about. And the rise of fast fashion brands, a little history rewind for people to understand, is that, which is why I'm going to make a better point in a second, is that fast fashion brands came about like after the housing crisis and, you know, that big burst, and we were in, you know, inflations and all kind of stuff. I mean, back in the 2000s, I remember when people were walking around with Fendi, Gucci, Prada. You remember those times?
Yes.
And people were, you know, Paris Hilton was walking around with, you know, her Louis Vuitton. She and Kim walking around with Louis Vuitton bags the size of
giant bags.
You know, all that stuff kind of like, it was so like bad to do after the housing crisis. Like after we went into recession.
Yes.
It became a no to show your money. And because of that reason why, and this is just basically, you know, this is like trend forecasting talk. You know, so this is the reason why we actually kind of saw the rise of like smaller brands, because those smaller brands were catering, right? They were catering to the clientele that was no longer interested in the Dior, the Fendi, Gucci, Prada, and the big GG logos and everything like that. Now it's a reverse, because, you know, every 10 years, fashion is cynical.
Just so like rotates itself back around.
Right, exactly. So now that, you know, 10 years ago, the Zaras, the H&Ms, the Nasty Gals, you know, all that kind of brands that started out all those brands that started out in like 2007, like 2010, 2007, around that time, are now like, they're like, Fashion Nova level, like that Boohoo, Pretty Little Things, Nasty Gal, you know, no, they're at like bigger levels. They're like multi-million-dollar, almost billion-dollar companies because of that. And it's hard to compete in that market space, because I see a lot of brands popping up doing fashion boutiques, and that's no shade or whatever, you can do that. But it would be in your better interest to be do the market research and go into a different market, which I've done. I'm not saying I'm the Bible, but I've found more success in doing a high-end brand versus doing a a boutique brand, like an Instagram boutique type of brand. I found more success, and I have a better branding, you know, and I think that's the reason why, because my market space is not crowded.
Exactly. That's important.
Boutique, that's you know,
very important.
It's competitive, yes, but it's not crowded in the sense that, and this is what I'm going to tell you, everybody knows, sorry, my allergy. Everybody knows where they're going to go to shop for jeans, tops, bottoms, dresses. Swimsuits and resort wear actually is something that people buy every year. It's like coat. Yes. You know, it's like winter wear, because you know, you have your winter wear brands like Montclair and, you know.
Right. But they're like more full, certain aesthetic. Yeah.
And it's a different aesthetic as well. But, you know, you have your, what's that brand's called? I'm literally looking in my closet around to see if I can see it. like the winter, like, the common winter
Yeah,
wear
like
brand.
the regular winter wear that you would normally buy just for
Yeah,
those essential
and you
pieces.
buy essential, right? But guess what? I buy winter wear almost every year, and I'm sure people buy swimsuits every time it's summer and springtime, right?
Right.
So it's competitive, but not overcrowded in the marketplace. Everybody can get a piece of pie of it.
Right.
And that's what I'm talking about when it comes to your market research. I'm not saying you should do swimsuits or whatever, but I'm just telling you,
right.
This, this industry it's super custom, it's competitive, but you have a chance. You know what I mean? And that's the point I've been trying to make, is that versus trying to be the next Fashion Nova, trying to be the next brand.
Yeah, trying to be the next fast fashion company is like, you're going to be working very hard.
It's not even that trendy right now, because it's so funny because the fast fashion brands are getting the backlash that the high-end brands got
that they had
during the recession. They're getting a different backlash, which is why we're going into this green movement,
sustainable. And people think sustainable is easy. It's not as easy as you think.
My factory that I have is a sustainable factory.
Yes.
But my products are not that sustainable. I try to use recycled paper to stuff to print this stuff on, and I get this stuff from Stickermute, and all the stuff is sustainable. And I try to buy my resources from like sustainable
companies.
Supplies, yeah. So that's how I do that. But I'm even, I think that as a resort wear brand, swim stuff.
Yeah.
I am thinking about how can I do some marketing in that space as well. Not necessarily the sustainability factor of it.
Right.
I don't really. It's hard. Listen, it's not easy to be a sustainable brand.
It's not. I get the question that people ask all the time, do you have sustainable this? This is, I'm like, guys, it's not easy to just be like, I want a sustainable brand. Like, it's not that easy. I mean, of course I would love to do that, but I think that takes time as a brand grows. Like, it takes a little time.
But what I try to do is I try to keep my supplies are sustainable. My factory stuff is sustainable.
Yes.
Like, they have sustainable practices.
Right.
And that's how I kind of feel comfortable that way. So those are the stuff I want to just like touch on. And I want to just finish with the common mistakes like I was mentioning before, is that you have to be consistent when you're doing branding. You have to be consistent. And it's not easy to be consistent. Personally, I want my brand to look a certain type of way and I'm growing. But for people to say, oh, it's so funny, is that I remember starting on doing ads. I used to have one ad running, and now I have about 4 or 5 different ads running on Instagram, Facebook, and I can see the difference. So, as a small brand, and I wear multiple hats, and it's just me and my sister, my assistant, and the people who are shipping my stuff, and it's just me, probably like 6 people in reality, and one of them is like overseas anyway, and that's like my but she's like super informed and she knows what she's doing.
But she's involved. But she's involved in the process.
And so funny thing is that she literally tells me, she discourages me from getting more samples and just put that money towards the stuff. Like she's like, you don't need this. You don't need this.
Like, no, I need a sample. I need a sample.
I need a sample. I need to see what it looks like. But she's like, because she knows it's expensive.
Right.
But she just tells me and lets me know what to do. But one of the common mistakes is not doing market research and being consistent in your brand. What I mean by consistent, I'm not talking about posting every day.
Yeah.
I'm talking about running ads consistently. I'm talking about sending out newsletters 3 times a week. That's me. Sending out newsletters 3 times a week. Doing brand placements, getting your brand out there. Like, for example, I'm talking to you right now.
Yeah, there's a lot of behind the scenes. That's the consistency is more behind the scenes than what you guys actually see to make sure that your brand is out there.
Getting your brand out there. This is like a perfect example of that. Speaking to like magazines, editors, getting your brands in, write-ups and stuff like that. Getting your brands on influencers, Right. It's not easy because everybody seems to want to get paid for something, but try and create different strategies and how to get in contact with them, offer them, because I'm no longer doing like paid endorsements anymore. Because I actually make more money from those running ads and just having my business out there versus doing an endorsement. And that's like a learning lesson for me as well. So I have to change my strategy for that. But my main thing is that you have to have your brand in the social media atmosphere, and not just on your own platform, but on Instagram, Facebook, Pinterest, having people wear your brands, talk about your brand and stuff like that.
Yes.
That's like super, super important. So those are the consistencies I'm talking about. And you have to work on your brand every single day, at least 3 hours.
At least minimum.
At least 3 hours. Like before. I mean, now that before it was 3 hours for me. I'm being honest. It was just 3 hours for me personally, because I was working like full time. I had my own like marketing agency at one time, and I was working with clients and doing stuff. So I had to come home and do my own stuff, and it was kind of difficult. So I just did my thing like 3 times of the day, 3 hours of the day, or whenever I had time. But now it's like a full time thing because I really do believe in it, and it's a lot of work. It's 24/7. So, but you have to scale as you go, obviously.
Right.
Work on it as much as you can. Work on your brand as much as you can, and create strategies every single day. I come up with ideas every single minute.
Write them down, you guys. Right? If you have a thought, just write it down. It might sound silly at first, but then when you go back to your note, you're like, oh, okay, this might work. So just write everything down. Make sure your strategies are in line with your brand message. Don't try to like stray away from that too much, because your customers are going to go into shock.
My closing statement is that inconsistency in brand messaging. So this is like one of something that I'm struggling with. I am struggling with is that I'm not where I want my brand to be right now. Like a full on, like I created, obviously, brand guides and stuff like that. And this is something that I want, people watching to do. Oh, what happened? I think I just froze. I'm good.
No, it's on.
Yeah, I want people watching to do is that you have to create your own brand guide. And what I mean by brand guide is that literally create a document, whether it be 10 pages or 3 pages of what you want your brand to be.
Yes. And
have that in the top so that you can share with, when you're getting more hands in the business, you can share with them as well, so that your brand can be consistent in branding and messaging. But also to keep in mind too that, okay, these are my brand colors, these are the brand aesthetic, this is the type of typography that we have to use in all text on the website, in all text, wherever text is going to be, whether it be a poster or or a billboard. This is what it's supposed to be look like. This is what it's supposed to this is what's supposed to be giving, girl. Like this is exactly what the brand is supposed to be giving. And to be consistent in that way, you have to have a brand guide. Me personally, my brand guide, I have it, but because obviously my resources are so limited right now, I'm not where I want my brand to be. My brand is really, really cool.
Well, so you're scaling.
You're right, exactly. But I'm not where I want it to be right now, but it's going to get there. But, we have to be consistent in the fact that, the messaging, how we type our captions, how we do our Instagram stories, how we do our storytelling.
Right.
And that's something that I want. Because if you change your style of storytelling, you confuse your customers, you lose customers, and you gain customers you don't want to gain. So, that's just something I want to leave with the girls or guys watching about certain things like that, about like, how branding is, it's not easy and it takes a lot of work. As you can see, we're talking for so long because there's so much to talk about. We haven't even touched the surface.
Branding is a big topic to cover. So I feel like we gave you guys a lot. Like this is a lot, and it's super helpful because I like to learn from other people, and that's why I tell you guys, always learn from other people. Don't just put all your eggs in one basket. Make sure
my Instagram is literally filled with like female entrepreneurs.
Yes, just like follow as many people as you can. Try to get the insight on how they do their thing, so that way you can try to figure out how to do your own thing. Don't copy people, but make sure that get that inspiration.
Is for inspiration. Just like getting like see what I mean. It's not copying. There's a specific word for it.
Right.
But but like you have to know what your competitors are doing, and you have to know like what's going on in the marketplace. And it's good to watch everybody. It's good to see that, okay, like for example, we are in fall now as a brand, and a lot of people are not traveling, not only here but even overseas.
Right.
And no one is going on vacation like that. So as
a heartbroken.
Right. Yeah, I am, including myself, right? I mean, I had trips planned and I had to cancel all kind of stuff.
I had my whole resort collection planned around the trip. So
wow, that's crazy.
That's why I said, okay, well now I have time. So
wow, that's insane. So even stuff like that, I'm sure. I know a brand, We Were What by Danielle Bernstein. She was supposed to have her summer collection with Revolve, and they had a big activation. They were actually going to do another Revolve trip, summer thing. But it's going to be overseas, obviously, and it was supposed to launch her swimwear collection with Revolve, and that didn't happen either. So she, I mean, everybody feels it, but the point I'm trying to make is that everybody has that stuff planned, and as a resort wear business, we had this idea of what we wanted to do for the full year.
Right.
And a little thing is backstory is that, like I said earlier, I didn't even mention, we were supposed to launch in March. Mm-hmm. So we had a full-on timetable, a schedule, I should say, or timetable, whatever you want to call it, what we were supposed to do, strategy-wise, launch-wise, imagery, all that kind of stuff. Like literally, we had to throw all that stuff in the basket, in the garbage, I should say, because
we've been getting hit hard this year.
Yeah, I'm so sad, and we were supposed to have dresses and all that kind of stuff. So now, as a brand, I have to pivot what we're gonna do. And I'm seeing other brands doing the same thing. And I have to make a decision. I don't want to compromise my brand identity and do stuff that I don't want to do. You know what I mean? I have to create things that are like, has the same brand identity and still on brand as, they would say for the brand. So our next collection that we're launching is going to be lounge wear. And that's in production right now. So hopefully it's going to be out by October. God's willing. Me too. I think we're just going to be doing like 3 colorways, and it's going to be the similar colorways with the brand, and some neutrals, obviously. And that's what it's going to look like. So we're trying to do like essentials. We already have masks coming out. Where do I have a mask? Oh yeah, we already have masks coming out. Super, super cool. Cute. So I think we have this coming out. Let me just try it on for the kids. So we have masks. So this is the mask. It's super cool. So
I love it because you can just take it off and let it hang.
Yeah, I mean, literally thought about this. So this is something that it's handmade. I designed this myself. So we have about like a lot of pieces of that coming in, and it's gonna drop Friday. So I don't know when they're gonna see this, obviously, but it's gonna. I believe
this is probably gonna go up on Sunday or Monday. Sunday or Monday.
Okay, so they'll be able to see this, but like this is the type of stuff I'm talking about. We're going to be pivoting our brand, and it's like a limited quantity stuff. So I don't know if by the time they even see it's going to be gone, and I'll decide whether or not we want to do some more. So, and it's a very small quantity we have of these. So so as a brand in quarantine, in coronavirus time, this is like what it looks like. Pivoting your business. Strategizing on how to actually reach customers, how to do because we have a lot of ideas about activations and all that kind of stuff. Me and my partner we're talking about, not only online but offline as well. So we're trying to do as whatever leeway we have with the New York City State government.
It's hard. It's hard.
Whatever leeway they're trying to give the world to do. I mean, whatever we can do, we'll do it.
Absolutely.
But for loungewear, like that's what we're coming up with. And obviously, you're brave to be launching another swim collection, but I cannot do it. For me to do that, it would be not only a lot of money up front, but it's uncertainties.
And it's because you have to go through full-on production as well.
I have to do production and stuff like that. I mean, this is easy because, you know, this is like stupid, like really, really easy stuff. It's not that hard. Really, really cool. And it's like going into the fall time. Super trendy. I really do like this, actually.
Cute.
So it's like really, really cute.
I love that chain.
Yeah, I know. Then all this is like locally sourced, made in here, right here in NYC. So this is like what we're giving to the girls right now. I think the color is changing on me, but yeah, this is what we're giving. So this is like what we designed for like the essentials. Calling it right now, it's called Essentials 2020.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'm gonna give it a full official name for like the lounge and whatnot, but like this is like what I have to do so that obviously I'm almost out of stock on certain stuff for that, you know, the one pieces and stuff like that. So, and that's just because Australia. No, I mean nobody else really.
Man, let them girls shop. Let them keep purchasing.
I know, right? So so that's, and then, you know, it's so funny because my manufacturer asked me, do I need anything else? And I might need to re-up on the one pieces, but I think that, I mean, that's the only like restocking I'm doing for like swimwear for the rest of the year.
Well, that'd be good though, because you said you were doing your essential pieces and your loungewear. So
yeah, but I feel like, you know, and it's like a business perspective.
Yeah.
And I feel like, you know, this is not what I planned to do. I wanted to do dresses and I wanted to do this, wanted to do that, but we have to pivot and we have to do what we have to do.
Absolutely.
So, but I'm just saying to say is that anybody can start a business within quarantine, and you can start, but don't let, you know, quarantine get you down. Don't let it get to you, because it has gotten to me. But when I started actually focusing on re-strategizing my business, I felt a lot more comfortable with the decisions I'm making. You know what I mean? Because I kind of see them paying off. And now I know that I have Australia, New Zealand, and the whole entire, you know, European people just want to buy this stuff. I don't feel no type of way about it. So I feel like just focus on like loungewear and, you know, I understand, you know, next year coming, we're going to have a lot of cool stuff. And just a little bit of tidbit, you guys. Focus. I don't know if you're going to do like a trend forecasting or forecasting episode. I don't know. But like, you know, next year is going to be a very weird year. I'm curious.
Oh my God. I'm so nervous. I'm nervous.
Curious to see what everybody's going to be doing and as regards to trends.
I'm nervous about next year's trends.
I'm nervous too. I'm nervous. I have an idea about I have an idea what's going to come now.
Yes.
But, just like how I kind of knew, because obviously this is like a tie-dye print, and this was in production since like last year. So, and this was like a tie-dye. We actually have another colorway to this.
Oh, okay.
And it's so cute, but I don't even know if we're going to be producing that next year, because I'm so glad I didn't do two of them. So that'd be a waste of money, right?
Yes.
I'd be like freaking
Hopefully,
out.
I'm thinking I'm very hopeful right now for next year, considering we've had such a hard 2020. So I think next year, hopefully spaces are open, people are moving around a little bit more freely. I don't know what's going on with the pandemic, but hopefully we're moving around a little bit more freely, and you know, people's purchasing habits will come back.
No, I think, you know, historically speaking, you know, you have to look at history to tell you what's going to happen. Is that after the Spanish flu happened, they have the Roaring 20s. You ever heard of that term, the Roaring 20s? Yes. That was after the Spanish flu, where for 20 years, people literally partied up.
They went crazy.
They went crazy during that decade. So after the Spanish flu, and the Spanish flu, I think, lasted for 2 years.
It did. It lasted quite a while. I hope this don't last 2 years.
I'm thinking, you know, I don't want it to be like, I mean, obviously we're in a different era. Yeah. Have medicine, science, and all that kind of stuff, you know, thank God. So, you know, I mean, hopefully by next spring, or I think by next summer, we should be fine. But I'm curious on what everybody's going to be designing, what kind of colorways and prints.
I think it's just going to go wild. I think it's going to be a fun time. I think it's going to be a fun design time, but it's going to be interesting.
Yeah. Well, yeah, guys, I hope you guys enjoyed this little conversation about branding and stuff like that. You have any questions, Mayhem? Morgan?
I don't. I think we covered a lot. I am going to, again, you guys, all of her information will be down below. Make sure you guys visit her on her main page, her brand page, check out her website, shop, you know, if you're interested in her swimwear. It's super cute. Again, you guys, she is her own label, okay? And she produces and designs all of her pieces. So make sure you do that. And I'm so excited. And thank you so much for coming on the channel and joining this Swimpreneur series, because again, I think it's really important for people to have other perspectives and to see someone doing something that, you know, you guys are all interested in. And she does the manufacturing side of things. I don't do the manufacturing side of things right now, so it's a really good, interesting conversation for you guys to see how she's maneuvering and that it is possible. I tell you, it's actually possible to do this.
It's possible. It's just a lot of research.
Yeah, just make it happen for yourself and just focus on your brand, focus on these key elements that we covered, and you will be on your way to having a successful brand. So thank you so much. I really appreciate you joining us. And you know, that's it, you guys.
Bye, guys.